Hello and welcome back. Honestly, I am so excited because we have got an amazing guest on today, and we are going to be speaking all about why women are so afraid of birth. Because what me and Bonnie have realised is that sometimes fear doesn't begin when pregnancy starts. It actually begins way back when we were little girls. So today I am joined by the incredible Bonnie, the Norfolk Doula. And this is just going to be such an incredible conversation. I'm so excited to have you here. And funnily enough, we are actually in the same room. We're literally sat beside each other. There's been a few technical issues, so hopefully this works. But welcome to the podcast, Bonnie.
Hi, so nice to be here.
Oh, yeah. So welcome. Please tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
So I am a mum of two. They're a bit bigger now, so my kids are 9 and 7. And my kind of origin story is that before I got married, before I had the kids, my mum died and left this massive gaping hole in my support system. So I had to go out there and try and call in my people, find the support that I needed as I was going through my pregnancy and birth and motherhood journeys. And it was the making of me. So I had amazing, incredible, so empowering birth experiences, and that set me up for a really transformational time as I entered motherhood. And after that, my friends started asking me to support them when they were having their babies and support them on their breastfeeding journeys, and it just kind of went from there. And now I left my NHS job and working full-time as a doula, supporting women and families having incredible, empowering, transformational birth experiences.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you had a doula in your births. Do you feel like it's because you had a bit of a void because your mum wasn't there, or?
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of just coincidence, or probably a gift from the universe, that my mum's best friend was a doula. So they'd been really good friends since she was my mum's NCT teacher when she was pregnant. So it was like this cycle that began again when I fell pregnant, and I turned to her to support me because she'd been with us through our journey when mum was unwell and dying as well. So we'd become really close then. So it's just a very natural step for me to sort of turn to her for that support.
I love that. And prior to your mum dying and you having a doula, did you know what a doula was?
I don't think I did. I was born at home, so that's kind of part of my story as well. And that narrative of birth not always having to be a very medical event was already kind of there under the surface.
So your mum was very much like you, trusted and believed in birth.
Yeah, she had my older brother in hospital, and then I was born at home. And there's my birth has kind of become family legend because it was not without its drama. But I think it became part of my story, and knowing that I was born at home definitely gave me strength.
I love that.
To follow that path myself.
So there's going to be a lot of girls listening to this who maybe just think that a doula is a glorified birth partner. So before we go on to our conversation today, I want you to have your moment.
Time to shine.
Come on. What is a doula?
So, I mean, we are a really great birth partner. We're someone who has supported many people before through the intensity and the journey of pregnancy, labour and birth. But we also weave in many additional skills. So it will be different. Whoever you speak to, they'll have their own perspective and their own skills. But for me, it's yes, I'm a very intuitive birth partner. I can just be present with a woman and usually anticipate what it is that she might need in that moment, always through invitation and always with consent. But I'm also there as an advocate for her. So when things don't necessarily go to plan, or if something comes up and she has to navigate information or a decision, then I'm there and I understand her. I know what's important to her already and her partner. So it's very much about bringing the partner in and giving them that additional confidence of someone else who has been there before. I can open the way almost for a partner to step fully into their role as well.
I love that.
So it's just looking at not just the events of the birth, but the experience of it. How can we make this experience feel really good, really powerful, and embrace that birth doesn't just have to be something to get through. It's something that's a rite of passage. It's a transformation, and that women deserve to be cared for however they need to be cared for. Not every
Yeah.
woman needs the same thing, but
And
we
I
get to
think
know them.
what I find crazy is that, you know, we have these massive life events, giving birth, having a wedding, having birth, like, not birthday, yeah, birthdays. So I was going to say birth. I don't know what I was going to say. But yeah, we have all of these massive events, and we get like wedding planners, and we get all of these people to muck in and help.
Yeah.
But when it comes to birth, we don't even help ourselves, a lot of us. So I just see a doula. Like now, if I was to fall pregnant again, I would not give birth without one.
Yeah.
Even though I know all of the information that I know and I'm able to bring in all of the practices I know, I would still have a doula, because it's so important to have somebody there that can advocate for you when times are intense. And it's invaluable. It's just incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and doulas need doulas as well, because it's not about having the knowledge, it's about having the support and the presence of someone who trusts you and who understands what you're going through. It's not about what you know, it's about having someone there to hold you through it.
100%. I love that. So let's roll into today's episode. So where does fear actually begin? And like, I think this is a huge thing, because when I think back to why I was scared of birth, it definitely wasn't when I fell pregnant. Yes, that amplified things, but it definitely wasn't the pregnancy that clicked and was like, yep, I'm scared of birth. It was definitely everything prior to that. So like, did you find, like, were you scared of birth or not at all?
I was. And I think for me, it was like a real process of unlearning and rediscovering, like reconnecting with what I did know on a really deep level, but had become disconnected from, and other stories had become louder. There was a lot of fear for me throughout pregnancy, and I think that's normal. I think it's okay. And I don't think we should be saying like, you have to banish every ounce of fear that you have. You have to like work through them and become 100% confident and 0% fearful. It's not realistic. It's not going to happen.
No.
It's about being able to meet that fear. It's about being able to face it, about being able to have the difficult conversations. And knowing that, yes, I'm fearful because there is unknown. There is unknown. We don't know how it's going to go. We cannot write our birth stories and follow that path, because nature is unpredictable. But I think it's about, not being afraid to face it and to accept it and hold space for those fears and say like, okay, sweetie, like I know, being so gentle with ourselves and with our fears, like, I know you exist. I know you're there. You're welcome here, but I'm going to do what I need to work through this and hold you with tenderness and like accept that and move through anyway.
No, I completely agree. And I think a lot of people now, like, they go into, say that they'll join a course, or they'll sign up to a hypnobirthing course, they'll go to an antenatal course, and they're hoping that at the end of it they'll be completely fear-free. But that doesn't happen. And what you need to be able to do is have the tools and techniques in the moment to quieten that noise, because the noise can sometimes become really loud. And even if you've done all of the work, and I do feel like that's why it's so important to have somebody like a doula, because they're going to remind you, they're going to remind your birth partner to remind you, they're going to be that safe space that you can sponge to when it is intense.
And I think our nervous system is naturally set up to want to protect us. It wants to keep us small and safe and keep things predictable. And that's why we reach for certainty and like things like a due date. We all know it's crap. Like nobody really believes that their baby's going to be born on that day necessarily. They might be, but it's like, it's something that seems tangible that we can hold on to. So when that uncertainty arises, that is uncomfortable.
We're just control freaks. Like we all want to be able to control everything. And I have so many people that come to me and they're like, oh, I really did want to do hypnobirthing, but what I've done is I've actually scheduled myself a cesarean date, because at least then I know when I'm going to go in, I know what's going to happen. I can actually plan for everything in that moment. And I'm just like, Like, I just want to be like, I just want to tell you how incredible and insane and magical birth can be.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, some people, they do want to like book themselves in for a cesarean. I'm here for all births. I think all births are beautiful, and whatever you want to do, you should do.
Yeah.
But also know that birth is insane.
Yeah.
Like, it can be, it doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't need to be something that we're crippled by. Yes, we're going to have the fears, but we work with them. We work like together, whoever you're working with, if it's a doula, hypnobirthing teacher, antenatal, whoever you're working with, they should be able to help you break them down and get to the root of why they came up. And that's why this conversation is so important when we speak about where the fears come from, because a lot of the time they come from when you're a little girl. And me and Bonnie were having a conversation, voice notes back and forth the other day, and you brought up a really good point, didn't you? That from a little girl, we are literally told to cover yourself up. And I'm going to let you elaborate on this because
so I mean, I think it's that like deep shame that is instilled in us about our bodies, about how they look, about how they smell, about their functions.
The smell one, this is crazy.
So like the fact that there is an entire industry based around covering up the smell of our bodies.
I'm a FemFresh like user. I am so conditioned to use FemFresh, and if I don't use FemFresh, I think I smell, but I don't. That's just normal. It's your just normal smell
of your body.
Of your bits.
Actually, like, you know, we are animals, and we share messages with other humans around us by the smell of our bodies. And like, I've just been away for 4 nights. I got home, and me and my husband, TMI maybe, never, but we were like just like get naked and sniffed each other all over, because like just reconnecting, like not just like, oh hi, how are you? It's like, no, we need to connect on this deeper level. And I was like, you know,
just come here.
I couldn't get close enough, even though like he was almost like in my mouth with his shoulders and his neck. But like,
what was in your mouth?
His shoulder, just his shoulder. But it's like, there is so much power. There's so much information there, and there's so much richness in embracing what our bodies are naturally designed to do.
I know.
But we like from early, it's like, you know, you've done a poo and you walk out of the room and it's like, oh my God, what can I spray around? How many times do I need to wash my hands to fill the room with the smell of the soap instead of my shit? Like, the next person might be doing a poo as well. And if they're not, then they probably did one earlier and they're definitely going to do one later. It's like, it's just bodily functions. And, you know, when we're at school, we're told we have to sit very still on a rigid, firm chair. We can't move. We can't go to the toilet when we need to. It's all disconnecting us from our bodies and from our instincts. And it's so like, I don't know if it's a tinfoil hat moment, but like, there are systems that are designed to disconnect us from our bodies and from our instincts. And education is one of those, and health massively. Like we outsource our power in so many ways, and it's just like disconnect.
It's constant.
So I think, you know, like the way we raise our children now, actually it might not take that long for us to be able to undo a lot of the damage that's been done, but it's a real intention that we need to set. You know, we're going to use the correct names for our body parts. We're going to not tell our children, because it's not just girls, like it is girls, but it's not just girls, that their bodily functions are shameful. Like, I am a naked person when I'm in the house. Like, if you if you go out with me, like I'll wiggle into my swimming costume under my clothes sometimes, but like when I'm at home, when I feel comfortable, like I'm naked, I have a hairy body. I let my kids see my menstrual blood, and they're like, oh mum, you on your bleed? I'm like, yes, I'm bleeding, so like, can you care for me a little bit extra? Or like, you might notice that I go to bed a bit earlier or rest a bit more, because that's what my body needs when I'm bleeding. And it's important that my daughter sees it, but it's also so important that my son sees it, because 100%. Now he knows how to care for a woman when she's bleeding.
Absolutely.
And like, that is fundamentally important as well. So I think it's just this like really ingrained, your body's too big, your body's too small, the constant chatter around girls'
Yeah.
bodies and their functions that is just so damaging, like truly damaging. And it's not, you know, it doesn't just relate to birth. It's our whole lives. It's our body image. It's our eating. It's how we move our bodies. Like if we weren't so ashamed to squeeze ourselves into tiny gym clothes that didn't feel good, like would we just get out there in the world and let everything move and wobble? And you know, the way
it's just crazy, isn't it, how our brains work? Like I always say to my husband, I don't want to wear shorts, I don't like my legs, I don't like this, but if I try and put myself into, like, I'm like, if I saw me walking down the street with shorts on, would I say, oh my God, her legs are disgusting?
How dare she?
No, I wouldn't ever say, I never ever would say that about anyone.
You wouldn't even think it. It wouldn't even cross your mind.
So why is that? Like, it's the same with like birth and pooing. Like so many people, their biggest fear is pooing themselves. Yeah. You're gonna poo. You literally are probably going to poo.
And everyone else around you is so excited because they're like, yeah, where there's
this
poo, a baby follows.
Yeah.
Or not everyone, but like those of us who know and witness birth, like it's a good thing. It's great. It's your body clearing out and making space and doing what it's meant to do.
Yeah. I was a trumpet. I remember like when I was pushing, I was like farting. It was like an actual trumpet. And I can remember thinking, oh, sorry. I kept saying sorry. And I was like, why are you saying sorry? Like when I look back now, why were you saying sorry? There's nothing to be sorry for. You can't control it. I mean, when we have sex, sometimes I fart out of my vagina. Yeah. It's normal.
It is. It's like bodies being bodies.
Yeah.
And I think we've been set up now to like expect that bodies function in this perfect factory setting all the time.
Yeah.
And that's massively related to birth. Like, you know, we should be having our babies by 40 weeks. The labour should take this long. It should unfold in this way. And the constant checking and having to know and having to understand. It's like, no, you don't need a vaginal examination. If all is well, you trust your body. So easy for us to outsource our power and outsource information. So, for example, things like even being given a due date. We would know when it was the right time for our bodies to have our babies if we didn't have this date in the sand. When you get there, you know.
Yeah.
You know when you're in labour most of the time, like because you just get that feeling from your body and your intuition. Things like vaginal examinations, if they're just done routinely, that's because someone else wants to know something from you, but it's not for us. So some women truly would like to know what's going on in their body if they feel like something isn't quite right, or, you know, they're getting a sense that they need more information. They might ask for one, but so many of the examinations, the external stuff that we're trying to find some sense of peace, some sense of power by knowing something outside of us. If we could bring it back in and reconnect with what our bodies are telling us already, then there would be so much more information.
It's like the apps, the contraction time is like so many people are downloading the contraction timers to see exactly how far apart your contractions are and for something else to tell us when the time is right to go to the hospital. Yeah. And actually, that in itself is taken away from us being connected to our labour and our birth and our baby because we're relying on something external to actually tell us when the time's right, when ultimately we are the only people that know. It's all I say to people is you will know when you know. Like, you just do. It's just one of them things. I know for me personally, when I was in labour, it was like I can no longer cope with my husband near me when I was having contractions. That was the time that I knew that I needed to get to the hospital and get on the gas and out. Like, I just knew that I needed something. Yeah. And I didn't rely on a contraction timer to tell me that. I relied on my personal gut feeling to tell me.
And in my second labour, my contractions were 5 minutes apart right the way up until I birthed my baby. I've witnessed births where the contractions are 7 minutes apart right up until like literally baby's head born, 7 minutes of nothing. But she was okay, and that's how her labour had unfolded. So like, if you were going by the timer, what would have happened then? We don't need to be validated externally. We need to be able to turn inwards.
And I do actually say about the contraction timer, I say that I didn't use one. I did at the beginning. At the beginning of my labour, I had it out and I was pressing it continuously. And at one point it was telling me to go to the hospital. And that's when I went to the hospital. I had a vaginal examination for them to say, you are only 1 centimetre, which is the most demotivating way to tell me how, like, for me now I know that 1 centimetre is incredible.
Yeah, you've already come so far.
So far.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had ladies that have gone from 1 centimetre to 10 centimetre in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's really, it doesn't give you enough information. And if only I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have gone for that vaginal examination.
And nothing outside of yourself can give you that information, because as you say, like, you have a vaginal examination, it only tells you what's present right now, and that changes, like, when it changes in a minute or in a moment or in an hour. We don't know when it's going to change. So it's not just about like the information that's out there doesn't tell us enough. It's like we don't actually need this if we're able to trust.
Yeah.
If all is well, then all is well. Why do we need to know? Why do we seek to understand everything? And that's because for our whole lives, we've been told that we have to understand everything. And that if you can't understand it, you don't trust it. Or if you can't understand it, then it's not happening. If you can't document and analyze, then surely it can't be real. But this is a situation where there is unknown, there is mystery, there is unpredictability, and learning to sit with that and sit with the unknown is so powerful. And I've had conversations with people, conversations with doctors. They're like, they give you the information and then they want something back, and I'm like, yeah, like, I hear you. I have nothing to add to this conversation because nothing is needed right now. You've told us what you've observed. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for your presence. Like, that's all.
Yeah, and I think the thing is that we are becoming so disconnected because we do want answers. Yeah. And it's the same with like the hospitals. They're not letting you go into the hospital until you're 4 centimetres dilated. So ladies are going to the hospital like truly believing that they have to have it. Like there's no other way, but you don't have to do anything.
Absolutely.
And that is a whole conversation for another podcast.
And then there's the other thing of like the gatekeeping. So it's like, well, no, you don't have to have it. But if you don't have it, these will be the consequences, because there are things that they don't have to give you X, Y, Z. Like, you're asking for it because you want it and you should be entitled to it. But like, if you deny them access to your body, then they will withhold something that you want. Like, that's such a power play, isn't it?
Yes,
it's such a like,
coercion.
You've got something I want, so I have to bend to your will.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like that. And it's not like it's a very big conversation. It's a very big issue where there is this withholding based on who is holding the power. Like, you need to just,
it's just, honestly, there's a situation in my birth. And I truly believe that my birth led to me to where I am now. But I can remember my biggest fear was vaginal examinations. And prior to getting pregnant, I had counselling about smear tests. Bearing in mind, I was 20. So my first smear test wouldn't have been for 5 years anyway, but it was my biggest worry. I am diagnosed with vaginismus anyway. And the thought of a examination or a sweep was terrifying for me. And I can remember them saying to me, it was during COVID, they were like, if you are not checked, you cannot be admitted. And I was like, okay, so I guess I'm going to have to be then. And even now I'm like repeating, I'm like, oh my God, I just wish that I knew. And I can remember laying on the bed in tears, crying, shaking. And I honestly felt like I was being pinned down by a midwife that actually was so loving and caring, thinking about it, because she was like, it's okay, people do it every day, like, you can do it, it doesn't hurt, it's just a little bit uncomfortable. And I was like, okay, deep breaths, crying, tears streaming down me. She's examining me. Yes, okay, like, it wasn't that painful when I think back to it, but it's the trauma that I had.
Not physically painful, but that's not the only type of pain.
And she could totally tell that I didn't want to have it. Why was I pushed into something like, because I do believe that caused my birth to actually unravel the way that it did, because she was inside, she'd done a vaginal examination, she told me, you are 3 centimetres, but I can stretch you to a 5. She stretched me without me giving consent. It was just while she was up there, she thought she might as well just do it. And then my labour went from 0 to 100 real quick. And like, even now, if I knew that I could actually just if I could just trust that what my body is doing is right, and actually they'll admit me when the time is right, whether I've had a vaginal examination or not, or I could have just given birth in the car or at home. It just is so frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're just, and even me, like I was so disconnected from my body, my pregnancy, my birth. And I truly believe it's led me to where I am now. It's sad when you think about it. But also with that sadness is great learning and the ability to change other people's experiences. So yeah, we have digressed.
Don't we always?
But yeah, it's another thing as well that I was speaking to you about before we actually came on the podcast is like when people message you and they're like, this is probably too TMI, but I want you to know that nothing is TMI for birth workers.
Yeah.
Like,
for me, it stands for tell me immediately.
Yeah,
if you've got that feeling of like, oh, is this too much? I'm like, no, this is the gold.
Yeah.
This is the information that not only is it helpful for me to know, but bring it out in the open, because if you're feeling that discomfort about it, it usually means that that's something important that needs to be addressed or looked at or talked about.
100%. And I had one of the girls the other day, she put in, we've got like a group WhatsApp chat, and she put in, she was like, I've been experiencing cramping, I've had some discharge, I've had this. And I'm like, oh, tell me, what does a discharge look like? And she's like, oh, really? Like, yes, really. Like, send me a photo, pop a pad in.
So many mucus plugs in my gallery. I can't even tell you.
It's like, it's such good information. Like, please do take photos, like pull it together, show me the consistency. I want to know it all. Like,
and those conversations where we open the door and we say, no, it's okay. I can hold space for this. I'm not ashamed of your body. I'm okay with whatever you've got to share, whatever feels good for you to share. I want to know it. I want to receive this. And not only is it helpful, it's like, it's a freaking honor to be in this space with you where you want to share your like inner world with me. And that's how women used to be. Like, you know, we went to the red tent when we were on our period and we shared that space for each other. We supported each other. We went to each other when we were in labor, and we, you know, we knew our women intimately, and we cared for each other in such an intimate way, in a generous, reciprocal way as well. Like, you care for me and I care for you. And that's just how the world worked. That's so beautiful. And we've completely lost that. We've completely lost it.
That reminds me of on the news the other day, there was photos of a lady that ran the marathon. And as she was running the marathon, she came on her period and she like leaked through her shorts and there was blood everywhere. And the men were commenting on it. They were being horrible. There was so many women building her up. There was so many women that were like, disgusting. She should have stopped. She should have put a tampon. I'm like, girls, help the fucking girls. Like, what are you doing bringing this lady down? And who fucking cares? Like,
and she's running the fucking marathon on her bleed.
Wow.
Well. Like, whoa.
I can't even walk.
Yeah. Like, some of us are curled up in bed drinking cocoa. Like,
I know.
Celebrate her power.
I know.
And her visibility as well. Like, more people need to see this. It's so important.
It's so important.
Yeah.
And anyway, going back to being a little girl and at school, this worries me because my daughter is a massive withholder. She holds her poos, she gets so constipated. And I just keep thinking, I really hope that this doesn't impact her giving birth one day, because the amount of poo this girl can hold, they're bigger than babies, half of them, I'm sure. But like, that goes back to like being at school and being conditioned that I think you said to me, Bonnie, didn't you, before, like, you're told not to go to the toilet until break time, to wait until you're at home. And actually, a lot of the toilets in school classrooms are within the classroom. So if you're going for a poo, it's another thing. You'll be laughed at because you're making a noise and because you smell and... you know, you just like make it. I think this is why so many people homeschool now, because it's too rigid. The system is too rigid. It's too sheep-like. You have to follow the crowd. You have to conform. And if you don't, all hell will break loose. Yeah. It's just mad, isn't it?
And I think those conversations, like as parents, so our kids had their school play a couple of weeks ago, and I went to the teachers, and it's almost a little bit counter what we're talking about, but it's not. For my son, it was really important that he was able to go somewhere and be in a private space to get changed. And I had this conversation with the teachers beforehand, and she said, yeah, it's fine. Like, he can just let us know on the day. And then on the day, he told a different member of staff, and she said, like, no, we don't have time. He tried to advocate for himself, and she said, that's the end of the conversation. I've given you an answer. And I was livid, because like, it's my role as his parent to advocate for him, and he advocated for himself, and I was so proud that he advocated for himself. But someone undermined that, and they said, like, no, your needs aren't important here. So I took it back. I was, firm and kind, but I said, like, this shouldn't have happened. This is not good enough. And our school is amazing. Like, we very rarely have any incidences of this, and they have like we have a very open conversation with them, and we see changes from what we bring to them. So it's possible for schools to support and be flexible, and, it's not rigid, but even in the best school environments, like, this is what we're up against. So
it's hard, isn't it?
It is hard. And I think it just, like, that's another system. We talk about like education and health. We talk about maternity services as if they're like this isolated thing that's broken, but it's not. It's society.
Yeah.
And the more conversations that we have like this, where we say, like, yeah, we're going to talk about our vaginas, we're going to use the word vulva. Like, the amount of people that laughed in the playground when my daughter fell over and she said, oh, Mom, I hurt my vulva. And there were women around, like, sniggering at her and looking at her. I'm like, you are part of the problem.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. So yeah, we just need to be loud. We need to talk about it. And
we just need to be honest. I think I said to my husband the other day, because Nellie asked me, it was something along the lines of how babies are made. And I was like, I don't want to lie to her.
No.
Like, I want her to know how they're made. And to say it, I wanted to say it in a way that was quite, okay for a 5-year-old to hear.
For her age.
But I don't want to lie. I don't want to make up a story that they've dropped off to the door. And I want her to know. Absolutely. It's the same with birth. Like, I watch birth videos all the time because I'm obsessed with it. She'll watch it too. She's not scared. She's not fearful. She's like, oh, one day I'll have a baby, mummy. And she's seeing it on screen, the intensity and everything. But she loves it. So it's just need to be open. Like, we're all humans. We're all like doing the same things. We're giving birth, but so many people can experience it so differently. And it does come down to conditioning. So we've got to decondition.
And it's work. It's hard work.
It is hard
going
work
against the tide, but it's so worth it for ourselves, for our daughters, and the ripples. Like, my daughter's friends, they hear us having these conversations, or like my friends hear me having the conversation with my kids, and they're like, oh, it's okay, we can talk to our kids like this. So then they start having these conversations, and it's generational, and it's rippling out there into the world, and it's really powerful.
And like, I know for me, my mum, she was a very closed character. And I know when I first lost my virginity and stuff like that, I didn't really feel like I could go to my mum, because I was like, she's going to tell me off. She's going to tell me off. But I really want Nellie to know, like, I want her to enjoy sex. And I don't feel like I could enjoy it because to me, it felt like something that was quite dirty and you shouldn't do it. But I want her, when she is, like, for God's sake, she's 5 years old at the moment, but when she is...
She's a whole person. It's worth thinking about this stuff.
And she is a person, and I want her to be safe, and I want her to enjoy it, because I didn't for a very long time. And I do think it's because I was so disconnected from my body. Because it wasn't something that you could speak about or something you could explore, and masturbation stuff was seen as kind of, oh, you shouldn't really be doing that.
And even less than doing it, we shouldn't be talking about it.
Shouldn't be talking about it. And now I've got a whole drawer of toys. So, like, it's okay. It is okay. It's, sometimes we have to relearn and explore our bodies and learn about our bodies. And that's not, it's hard, because I feel like, I think you were saying before we came on the call about how you like don't have your clothes on around the house, and your little boy who's 9 said, oh, mummy, I don't want to see your boobies anymore. And I said to her, it's because they start sexualizing these things, but actually it doesn't need to be sexualized, does it? It's it's a whole conversation. We could go on for hours, but I feel like we've covered so much. But before we do end, I just want to say, like, what does disconnection look like in birth? And what can it look like when you're connected deeply?
So I think it's that sense of being in your body and being with your body. And it doesn't look the same for everybody. So
No.
some women, like between their contractions, they want to have a little chit chat. They want to be like present in the space and come out of their internal world. But I think it's about being able to really feel, truly feel what's happening in your body physically, but also like the connection between the physical and emotional.
Yeah.
And usually what I witness is that women who are very connected with their bodies find a rhythm, they find a flow, and they kind of get lost in it, and time becomes all a bit fluid, and it's just being able to surrender and follow what it is that your body is telling you. So I actually think through pregnancy, but also just life, that connection that we can start to practice, because most of us have lost it. So if you feel like you need a wee, go now. If you feel thirsty, grab a drink. Like it's practice. There's so much that you can do throughout your journey before you're in labor to start to really like embrace this, listen and respond. I think listening to your body and responding, not just noticing, but doing the thing that your body is asking of you is so valuable. And it's like, it's that flow that women find when they're really connected and they feel safe and supported, because it's not just about knowing, it's about being in an environment and being with people who help you feel safe enough to surrender, to follow your body.
No, I think that's really good. I think disconnection can be when you are, you're constantly looking for external validation.
Outsourcing. How many centimeters am I? Is this okay? What do I do now? And like women do sometimes feel that way, and that's okay. And I've held many women through that as well, that like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening to me? Like, tell me I'm okay. And sometimes we feel like that, and we can't get to a state where we're in our flow all the time. But having a team around you who you trust, who can offer you the support that you need, is really valuable in that situation. But also that's a lesson. Like if you've experienced birth like that, where you were really outsourcing, what can you do? What can you learn from that? How can you use that and weave it into, you know, you might have another baby. You can use that information, but you have a life. You have parenthood. How can you use that information to help you learn and grow?
I love that. Well, this has been bloody fabulous. I've enjoyed it so much, but we will love and leave you now because it's a great episode and I feel like, we'll wrap it up. But I'll have you on again any day.
See you next week.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave your Instagram in the show notes. I'll also leave your website for any Norwich girlies that are potentially looking for a doula. And come connect with us over on Instagram. Tell us how you found the episode, and check back in with you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.